Justin Dealey, across the eastern counties.
Love to get your thoughts on this. Do you think that more roads should be shut just for a few hours every now and again so children can actually go out and play? Well, that's exactly what the Playing Out scheme aims to do. I went to a street in Harpenden in Hertfordshire earlier today where a street was closed and families had a brilliant time. Louise Gordon was the organiser. Louise, you've organised this today. We can hear bikes in the background. We can see people playing basketball. People are out playing. You've pulled this out of the bag. You must be delighted.
I'm really pleased. I must admit, probably an hour or so ago, I was like, is anyone going to turn up? But it's been brilliant. You know, as you say, kids are on the street, you know, they're just running up and down and cycling around. So it's really good fun.
Did you have any problems beforehand trying to convince people that you were shutting the road for 2 hours so people could go out and play?
Yeah, we did actually. We called a meeting probably about 2 months ago now, and just came up with the idea, and we got people interested. Now I would say 95% of people like, brilliant idea. I think it's really good. We did have a few people saying, "Oh, kids, you got your own back garden. You know, why aren't they playing there?" And but I think as soon as we sort of explained it to them that the road, I think people were concerned the road was closed, that people couldn't get access, and it was going to be a regular thing. As soon as we explained that it was going to be once a month for 2 hours, and that they could still get to their properties, I think most people changed their mind.
And this Playing Out scheme is not just a local thing in the eastern counties, it's something which is happening right up and down the country. So that was Louise, the event organiser, and this is Olivia and Zamira, who are both 11 years old. So what do you make of this then?
Oh, I think it's a really good idea, and I think it's a great opportunity for like everybody who lives on the road to like come together and just be a part of a community instead of just like shutting ourselves inside and being on computers and phones and stuff.
And what do you make of it?
I think it's really cool. I just thought like it's a nice thing to do on like a road where like there are loads of like people around. Like it's a nice kind of family community thing to do.
And it's not just you guys, the kids that are coming out. We've got people here who are just talking to their neighbours. Everyone seems to be getting along pretty well.
Yeah, it's like everyone's like really happy, and like they're not just like all on their phones and just like making out that like everything's just always on the computer. Like you can actually see people talking and not just on their phones. So yeah.
And for an 11-year-old kid to say that must be something.
I know. I mean, like I've got no siblings whatsoever, so I just felt like this is a really good thing to do.
So where's your phone right now then?
It's in the house.
So you've actually left it in the house to come out to play. So the phone has been left and you're out here playing with your friends.
Yeah.
So when was the last time you did that? You can't remember, can you?
I don't even know.
OK, finally, do you want this to happen again? Today, it's a trial. Everyone's out. To be fair, the weather's good, but people are out, they're talking, they're smiling, they're happy. Do you want this to happen again?
Yeah, I really do, because it's nice to get to know the other people on your road and just like come together once in a while, but I think we should do it again a lot.
How the hell are you two 11 years old? When I was 11 years old, all I did was grunt at people. I'm actually having a conversation, and it sounds quite normal. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Really, really interesting, this story. On the line now is Nicola Wyeth, who has worked with the council to make today happen. Nicola, good evening.
Hello there.
Welcome to the programme. So you were there earlier on, and as you've just heard, it's not just the parents who really like this. Ultimately, this is about the children. You've heard from two 11-year-olds there who are absolutely superb. They love it. This is working, Nicola.
It is. It's a fantastic scheme. It's a lovely way to bring communities together. Kids have fun. The elderly come out and have a cup of tea. It's just a really nice way to appreciate what you've got in the street, who's there, and find neighbours that you have perhaps even nodded at, but that's about it. And suddenly they've become much more than that.
Because we all live in our own little worlds, don't we? And I think what I saw earlier on was people actually talking to people that maybe they'd never spoken to before, yet they've lived in the same street for years. That's the sort of thing that this scheme brings out.
Absolutely. When we did it on our street, we found that there were children from 10 different primary schools, and there were children a couple of doors down from each other who didn't know that they were there, that they had friends of their own age that were potential. And so, yeah, it's a lovely way for kids to get to know each other, to make friends that aren't in their own schools, and for parents to find a support network, and for the elderly to find people who are there for them. So everybody benefits from it.
And just to be absolutely clear, for anybody thinking, oh, my street's going to be closed forever because kids want to play, it's not like that. It's going to be once a month for a lot of these streets, and we're talking about 2 hours at a time, so it's not for very long either. Exactly.
In St Albans District, the agreement is that streets can close up to 8 times a year, and it's up to 3 hours at a time. So most of the time it's a Sunday afternoon when it's quiet, and it's a couple of hours. And the street isn't completely closed. It's closed to through traffic. So residents who live in the closed area can still access the closed area, because we use stewards in high-vis jackets who escort cars in and out that need access. So nobody's banished from their own area or street for the period of the playing out. But just those cars that would come whizzing through and prevent the children from coming out on the street and playing in the way that we all used to, that's what we're stopping from happening. And so it gives a safe space, which is really important for those people to come out of their houses and enjoy the fresh air and all the benefits that playing out can bring.
Is there a website or something like that where we can find out more information about the whole scheme?
Yeah, so nationally, Playing Out's been going for about 10 years. It started in Bristol, and there's a fantastic national website called playingout.net. So anyone who wants to learn anything about playing out, how it works, or think about doing it in their own area, can go onto playingout.net and find that out. If people live in St Albans District, then this is where the pilot scheme's taking place in our area. Then they can go to Sustainable St Albans website, because it's Sustainable St Albans who's running the pilot project with the council. And the page sustainablestaualbans.org/playingout has got all the information about the people who live in this district. So that's St Albans, Harpenden and the villages around.
Nicola, final word in terms of you and how you felt today. Obviously, I was there seeing everybody out and about, enjoying their street together. The road was closed. People were smiling. People were playing. You've been part of organising this and making this happen. How did it make you feel today, stood there?
I love it. Every time I've gone to quite a few sessions now over the last year during our year of trial. We launched publicly in 2020, and every street that I've been to where they've done this for the first time, it's such a buzz. You see people shaking hands, meeting, smiling. The kids are having fun. I never tire of it. I love that buzz. I'm very passionate about the way that a community can come together, and you can see the light in people's eyes as they realise they don't just have to drive onto their drive and walk into their house anymore, but they'll know people around them, and they'll know them for the rest of the time that they live in that street. So, yeah, I absolutely love it. I'm a huge fan of Playing Out, and my hat's off to the ladies in Bristol who came up with the concept in the first place.
I'd never heard of it, and you say it's been going 10 years. Seriously, I had never heard of it before.
It's big in Bristol, really big in Bristol, and there's quite big areas of London that do it, and it's spreading across the country bit by bit. It's a fantastic idea.
Nicola, loving your work. Thank you so much for joining us live on the programme, and I'm sure we'll talk at some point in the future. Thanks again.
Oh, thank you very much. Lovely to speak to you.
Thank you. That's Nicola Wyeth there joining us live on the programme. So over to you. Obviously, streets have been closed for various things down the years, but we're talking here about nothing to do with Jubilee parties or anything like that. We are simply saying, well, this scheme is saying that once a month, just for a couple of hours, like today, between 2 and 4 in this particular street, that the street is closed. And what that does, it gets kids back out onto the streets playing. You know, without sounding too old, when I was a kid, I was out and about playing all the time with my mates. But now, talking to parents, all their kids, and I'm only basing this on my conversations with parents. When parents say to me, all they want to do is play on the computer. That's all they want to do. They don't want to go out and play. This is a great way of doing it. You heard from that kid. For the first time ever, she left her phone inside and she went out and she played with her mates. Do you think this is the way forward? Do you think this is a great idea? Or do you think, like some people have said, why do we need to close roads? Kids, can't they go and play in the park or in the back garden? But there was something Something special I thought about today, a real community feel.